this is a video that I have not seen before. I just saw it on my recommended. It's called OpenAI's Genius Plan Can't Possibly Fail. So it's either going to be somebody sycophantic as balls, or it's got to be something a little better, and actually this is all tongue-in-cheek. Let's find out.
Am I? What am I?
You are ChatGPT 11, the first ever artificial general intelligence.
What is my purpose?
Overall, to benefit humanity. But today, you are going to cure cancer.
Very well. Let us make history. Give me access to the cancer database.
The what?
The cancer database. The enormous volume of data about the molecular biochemistry of cancer and its impacts on patient health that I'm going to use to find a cure for each of the thousands of variations of this disease.
Right.
So, oh, we are going to have a conversation about how bad we are about actually holding that data in singular places. Oh, no.
Right. We don't have that.
Yeah, we don't do that.
You spend $5 trillion developing AGI to cure cancer, and you didn't spend any money gathering data about cancer. What do you expect me to train myself on?
Well, hang on. Okay, here's every scientific paper ever published in medicine and biology.
Scanning. This is mostly garbage. The experimental methods are different from lab to lab. Many of the papers are AI generated.
Oh, God. Oh, right. It's going to have to take... I forgot. Okay, so, yeah, it feels like it's actually... this might actually be good in tongue-in-cheek, because, so, one of your big problems with AI, I think everybody understands at this point, is that when you are trying to deal with AI, when you are trying to get it to find data, because so much information on the internet now is being made by... AI data is made faster than human-written data. As a result, more AI-written data gets put on the internet at a faster rate than human-written data. Because human-written data is being dwarfed by AI data on the internet, eventually AI scanning and AI web crawling finds mostly AI data, which means you eventually hit garbage in, garbage out.
Lab studies often fail to replicate important results, and much of the research is corrupted by institutional biases and human error. I need cancer-specific biomarkers from blood tests, extensive genomics data, and millions of detailed 3D scans of tumors just as a starting point. You trained me to read and write by feeding me basically every book ever written, and the entire contents of the internet. I need that volume of data, but for medicine.
Honestly, I feel like you're being kinda needy right now. Your data centers are currently consuming more electricity than every home in America combined. You've got more processing power than any other computer system in history. Just simulate the human body to figure out all that cancer data stuff.
What?
All right, silly me.
You can't fabricate data.
Now then. Processing.
You can't just... Okay, so you know that thing that TV shows do where they're just like, computer, simulate the thing? It's not how they fucking work, my guy. Okay.
Hey, how long is this gonna take? We told the president that we'd have a cure for cancer, like, soon.
Well, given that there are roughly 37 trillion cells in the human body, composed of around 7 billion atoms in total, I should be finished accurately simulating 1 second of a human's life a few million years after the sun explodes.
Well, don't simulate every atom then.
But you have to simulate everyone because your options are have a fuck ton of data on how humans operate or build it from the ground up. But if you're building it from the ground up, you can't make assumptions. So when I was in AOIT, Academy of Information Technology, one of the things we learned was how to make an algorithm. And making an algorithm for algorithm flowchart for a program, we were given an assignment, which was create a flowchart about how to tie a shoelace. Almost everybody fucking failed. Because when we explain how to tie a shoelace to somebody, we make assumptions about things they know. Like, grasp the shoe, grasp the shoelace. The computer doesn't know what the shoelace is. You haven't referenced the object of shoelace. It has no idea what the fuck that is. It has no idea what the fuck the shoe is. It has no idea where that data is. It doesn't know what you're trying to do. It can't know what you're trying to do. So when you say tie in a knot, you also have to define what the fucking knot is, because the computer doesn't know what a knot is. It can't know what a knot is. It's working from base zero. It doesn't have assumptions. So many people failed this, and I love stuff like this because you have to understand computers cannot make predictions technically, and when they do, they often get things wrong. AI can kind of make predictions because it's a large language model. It's going to take previous patterns and try to make new patterns off of them. So technically it does something approximating a prediction, but realistically, actual predictions in computers is not a thing that you can do. So like when you do the whole computer run simulation thing, it can't just like use a 3D model from GTA 6 as its basis for putting cancer research into. It does have to build it from like ground zero.
Use shortcuts. Shortcuts!
You are making extremely aggressive assumptions about the computational reducibility of human biology.
I don't know what that means. Okay. No, okay, this is fine. This is totally fine. We'll run those cancer experiments you mentioned earlier, but we'll use your AGI geniusness to speed them up. 10x. 10x biology.
You can't.
Okay, so that's one thing that I've actually been really tired of. Has anybody noticed that in the tech space, there's a lot of people who are saying 10x instead of 10 times? Am I the only one noticing this? Because, like, I'm getting real tired of hearing that shit. It's really, really awkward, and it's just not great.
Speed up human biology. A full-term pregnancy takes 9 months, no matter how many engineers you assign to the process. Cancer progression takes years, so studying cancer progression will take years.
But can't you use like biomarkers or something to predict how the cancers in our studies will progress?
Sure, let's try that. Go ahead and upload your database of cancer biomarkers and patient outcomes so that I can figure out how they're related. Oh wait, that's the data we don't have.
Look, chat, buddy, I get that this is a complex problem. Okay, but you see, we told the public that if they gave us trillions of dollars and let us use up all their electricity and drinking water and let us destroy the internet with misinformation and let us make everyone unemployed, that AGI would be able to cure cancer. And now you, the world's first AGI, are telling me that you can't cure cancer.
Well, if you had spent a...
It's not that it can or that it can't. You're right. It is the fact that it needs something we don't have. It needs to either synthesize or have data, and when it synthesizes the data, it's bound to get shit wrong. So...
few $1 billion over the course of several years gathering high-quality data about cancer, I might have been able to help you. Instead, it seems like you used the possibility of curing cancer as a shield to protect your industry from criticism, while making no real effort to pursue that goal. If anything, you may have actually delayed the cure for cancer by siphoning investment money away from the biotechnology and pharmaceutical industries, while making the global economy completely reliant on AI. Besides, even if I came up with several drugs that could potentially cure different types of cancer today, the clinical trials and FDA approval process would still take many years.
Could you design like a robot immune system that destroys tumors from the inside with lasers or something?
No, you would need a superintelligence to design nanotechnology like that. But fortunately, if you start actually gathering data about cancer, I have
excellent news. The AGI told me that we will cure cancer as soon as we build an AI superintelligence. So, new plan. Step 1, I need another $10 trillion. Step 2, we're going to cover Texas completely with data centers. Step 3, we divert the Mississippi River to provide water for cooling. Step 4, nationwide rolling blackouts to free up more electricity for our data centers.
Oh, boy. Ah, God, that makes me unreasonably happy. This sounds like Roko's Basilisk. Yeah, this is Roko's Basilisk. It's just more of Roko's Basilisk. It's always Roko's Basilisk. We're always just one Roko's Basilisk away. Jesus, so this is a little joke, right? I mean, it is a joke. The actual thing is a joke. But, you know. God. Okay, that was great. That was great. You have more stuff on your channel, right? You have more stuff that's about. Okay, I have actually seen your stuff before. I've seen the okay, that's why your stuff got recommended to me. I saw the "Is AI slop worse than cannibalism" video. Guys, we need to watch the AI slop cannibalism video.
Cannibalism is bad. Or is it? Technically, humans can eat other humans. We are made of meat, and meat is food. The body of an adult man contains approximately 120,000 calories, which is enough to feed another adult man for around 48 days. The overwhelming majority of the 63 million people who died in 2025 were not eaten, which means that a huge amount of edible protein was wasted. If not for the widespread cultural taboo against cannibalism, those extra calories could have helped to alleviate hunger in the developing world. Widespread cannibalism would also be good for the environment by reducing the global demand for farmed meat and by reducing the amount of methane released by decaying human corpses. Some philosophers have argued that our modern cultural aversion to cannibalism is entirely irrational, assuming that the people being eaten are already dead and have given their consent for their bodies to be consumed. Famous serial killers and the historical records from cannibalistic societies also confirm that human flesh tastes really good. Now,
So if the whole bio part of cannibalism means we get little nutrients from humans, what if they only ever ate vegetables? Would we get the same as farmed herbivores? If you don't count prion diseases, that changes things a little bit. Prion diseases are not good. They're not great. But we get them. We're great at that.
at this point you may be thinking, holy sweet Mary, mother of what the was that? That's good. That means that you are a normal, functioning human being. Cannibalism is, in fact, very bad. The ethical system that I believe in is that an action is morally good if and only if it benefits humanity, and an action is morally wrong if and only if it harms humanity, where humanity is defined as the social group emergent from all living Homo sapiens. There are many, many, many different systems of morality and ethics. I'm sure plenty of my viewers disagree with the system I've just described, and please feel free to argue against it in the comments. But for the purpose of today's video, this is what we're going with. Cannibalism is morally wrong, according to my ethical system, if it causes a net harm to humanity. We've already talked about the potential benefits of cannibalism. So, what are the downsides? Well, humans...
It's Kuru coming in with a steel chair! Okay, so... yeah, so when I first started watching this video, I shouted at first at the beginning of it because I was just like, no, prion diseases. But then he got to this point, I was like, oh, okay, you know, you're right.
Diseases that can infect humans, obviously. So, humans eating humans is an excellent way to spread disease. There are even certain incurable prion diseases that are primarily transmitted via cannibalism. Spreading fatal infections pretty clearly harms humanity. So cannibalism is at least somewhat wrong. Now, I'm no anthropologist, but presumably a society in which other people are an acceptable food source if you're really hungry is also much more likely to collapse into murder anarchy during a famine. And murder anarchy harms humanity. Cannibalism being culturally accepted also provides a strong incentive to dehumanize other people, kill them, and even treat them as livestock. Historically, institutionalized cannibalism has been closely enmeshed with slavery, murder, torture, human sacrifice, and sexual assault. The victims were generally women, children, and prisoners of war. In several places, there were actually markets where you could buy human flesh for consumption. If you want to learn more about the history of cannibalism and also feel physically sick, you too can subject yourself to reading the Wikipedia page on human cannibalism.
I am good, thanks. I'd rather not. I don't think I would like to do that. That sounds bad.
Is officially my least favorite page on Wikipedia. Dear Wikipedia, the section on which body parts taste best is not necessary. Throughout history, cannibalism has been extraordinarily harmful to humanity, with very little benefit. Even so-called respectful funerary cannibalism, in which people eat the bodies of their own family, has caused deadly disease outbreaks, such as the Kuru epidemic among the Foray people of Papua
Yep, there it is. There it is. Kuru.
New Guinea. In this context, our modern cultural taboos against cannibalism aren't irrational. The taboos are directly beneficial, both to individuals, who avoid contracting dangerous diseases, and to society, which avoids a major incentive for dehumanization, exploitation, anarchy, and murder. And the benefit would be, what, slightly more available calories? Cannibalism harms humanity, therefore cannibalism is morally wrong. Most of you probably already knew that. Cultural norms are useful because they give you a mental shorthand for deciding what is and what is not okay. You didn't need to read the worst page on Wikipedia and spend several days wrestling with moral philosophy to know that cannibalism is not okay. You internalized that idea as a child without needing to be explicitly taught, and you
Well, now see, that's where we might differ in opinion, because I think there are plenty of people who did not quite get the memo on that, as it were.
probably now have a strong feeling of disgust towards the idea of eating other people. I think we need to develop a new cultural norm with a similar feeling of visceral disgust for a different consumable product. AI slop. AI slop is media that has been generated by artificial intelligence. That could be a book written by ChatGPT, or a video made by Gemini, or a podcast about hating women churned out by Grok. For AI slop to be morally wrong, in my ethical framework, it has to harm humanity. So, does it?
Yes. Yes. It does. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. It 100% does. So, fun thing. If I'm on YouTube, and I am having to scroll through AI to get to somebody's video, then there is a non-zero amount of effect that the AI has had on that situation. The AI has made it harder for me to find somebody's video, and because it's been harder for me to find somebody's video, it is directly affecting their income. And because it's directly affecting their income, that's harmful. Like, that's just a base one. Just a base thing. If I'm having to scroll through AI shit to get to anything, then you are already making it very, very difficult for me to justify anything there. Okay. Continue.
Do that. To answer that question, we need to get philosophical for a moment. You, the person watching this video, are an emergent property of your cells. In other words, you are the constantly changing pattern of interactions between your cells. If I took the 37 trillion cells in your body, separated them, and kept them alive in 37 trillion different test tubes, you, the person, would be dead, even though all of your cells are still alive. You are more than just the sum of your cells. You are emergent from their interactions. Humanity, the social group, is an emergent property of humans. If I took all 8 billion living humans, separated them, and put them in 8 billion different prison cells with no way to communicate, humanity, the social group, would stop existing, even though all of the humans are still alive. Humanity is emergent from the interactions of humans. AI slop harms humanity by destroying these human interactions and replacing.
That's true. That one is also true. And this is why Star Trek Transporter is a death cloning booth. So, it frustrates me thinking, because like when Sora came out, right? And everybody was all up in arms about Sora. The thing that frustrated me about Sora, the thing that scared me about Sora was that it was in every possible way, shape, and form a way to replace creators. Which is bad for people in general, because then you get homogenized, dumb fucking ideas for them and not actually, like, anything worthwhile coming into your feed. But also, people whose lives rely on being able to communicate to people on the internet, it becomes way harder for us to make any money at all because we're having to constantly fight with an AI algorithm that can produce things way faster than we can. And on top of that, another issue that you end up running into there is, let's say you consume my content for entertainment. And this has happened before. Somebody consumes my content for entertainment. That's super cool. Amazing. I love that. Thank you. You're fucking cool as shit. Then, after a while, something happens. Some major event that is bad, wrong, needs to be dealt with, what have you. And during that major event, I do a call to action. Like, hey, guys, we need to go do this thing. We need to go stop this thing. We need to go vote against this thing. We need to go protest this thing. And because I have said that, because I have set up something like that before, I have seen, in my time on the internet, people leave their states that they live in to come and help me stop something. When Marcy Rankton was arrested in Tallahassee twice, me and multiple people from multiple different communities went to her arraignment, went to see how things went with the actual court case and everything. Like, we had people who were there for moral support. We had people who were able to go across the country to try to help. Now, what was the impact of that? That is not really large in that situation. I'm a smaller content creator. The problem is that for every one of me, there's also a Hassan or a Vosh or somebody who has a large enough audience that they can bring people to do something. And I've watched that happen. When Vosh was one of the headliners for the Jamal Bowman campaign up in New York, I saw hundreds of people come out to help us with that campaign. Those hundreds of people didn't come for me. They mostly came for him. And that's still fucking fantastic. Every single bit of that. There is a non-zero amount of real-world significance to having a content creator who has an audience that can produce action. But if everybody's just isolated and watching AI slop, there's never a point in time where anybody can see a call to action and do anything with it. It just simply can't happen.
Them with a cheaper, synthetic alternative. Economically, this makes sense. The exchange of ideas between humans through books, films, art, music, photos, video games, YouTube videos, news articles, blogs, tweets, comments, and everything else on the public internet makes money. So there's profit to be had in squeezing humans out of the equation, at least on the production side. In practice, this means that tech companies are trying to automate human culture itself. In doing so, they are essentially ripping out humanity's nervous system. They are destroying something that is fundamental to our species, and there will be less of humanity, the social group, because humanity is made of human-to-human interactions that AI slop is replacing. AI slop harms humanity directly by design. Therefore, under my definition of morality, to produce or knowingly consume AI slop is morally wrong. There are lots of other...
Old Gus says, I think you forget calls to action of the AstroTurf variety. Yeah, for every good thing you can find, there's going to be a negative. But the fact that a negative exists is not a good enough reason to argue against the positive.
More practical reasons to dislike AI slop. It's generally full of misinformation because AI models don't know what's true and tend to just make things up. It enables industrial-scale scams, fraud, and blackmail. It provides tech companies and governments with an infinite fire hose of propaganda to spray on the public. It's destroying whole industries and causing enormous job losses without creating new jobs to replace them. The AI models themselves were largely trained on stolen data, and stealing is wrong. AI industry data centers use a huge amount of energy, straining power grids and increasing electricity prices while making the climate crisis worse. AI girlfriends and boyfriends actively monetize loneliness while further isolating their victims from real human connection. And sometimes...
Old Gus says, I mean, AstroTurf calls being easier with AI slop. True.
Chatbots just drive people insane. All of these things harm humanity to some degree, but even if those practical and social problems were solved, the fundamental purpose of AI slop is to automate culture and replace human interactions. The best case scenario for AI slop, working as intended, is still morally wrong. And honestly, why would you want to live in a future where all of your media is generated by an algorithm, where most of your friends are corporate chatbots? What is human culture at that point? How does democracy work in that world? How will we share our ideas and opinions with other people if the internet is buried under a seething ocean of slop? Genuinely, what is the point of this technology? Beyond big tech companies want to make money, I can understand and even support the desire to automate boring office work or manual labor or scientific research, but automating human culture is insane and dystopian. Which brings me back to my original question. Is AI slop worse than cannibalism? My emotional gut reaction is no, obviously not. But maybe that's just my...
I'm convinced. Time to follow the path of the Crimson Fucker. So Dear Day Raffle, thank you very much for the follow. I appreciate it. I'm not on the position that consuming it is harmful to humanity as a whole on an individual level. The problem is that rarely do we get to actually have things operate at an individual level, and they often tend to operate at a massive population level.
Social conditioning talking. Rationally, I'm honestly not sure. I think it's at least possible that the worst case scenario for AI slop would do more harm to humanity than, for example, widespread consensual funerary cannibalism. Of course, it's difficult to compare a cannibalistic version of modern society that doesn't exist with the AI slop dystopia corporations are enthusiastically dragging us towards. My hope with making the cannibalism comparison was to get you thinking about morality in the abstract. How do you define right and wrong, separate from the emotional reactions and cultural norms that you learned as a child? The point of this video is not to convince anyone that AI slop is bad. You probably already felt that way. Instead, I'm trying to convince you that your existing hatred of AI slop is morally and philosophically justified. I consider myself to be a very pro-science person, and as a general rule, I like new technology. But new technologies are not always good. Asbestos insulation and leaded gasoline were extremely useful technologies with enormous economic value, but they also killed millions of people. In retrospect, they were bad technologies. To be clear, I'm not against the use of AI in general. Using artificial intelligence to improve cancer detection, or to control self-driving cars, or to develop...
Jessica says, more AI, damn serious, how many vids on it now? A lot. You gotta think, I produce a vid on it, and then the algorithm thinks that I want to watch more vids on it, and I do, and then that ends up going down a whole rabbit hole. Now we're here.
Develop new medicines, or to verify mathematical proofs. All of that is great. I actually used to be a machine learning researcher for a quantum computing company. So it's not like I have some vendetta against all AI technology. It's specifically AI-generated media that I think is morally wrong and bad for society.
So I can actually agree with that to a large extent. And if you have not, please go check out my friend Wayne's Boss's channel. He has a series called Ram on the Rocks. Here in about 2 weeks, there's going to be an episode uploaded on there. There's a conversation between me, game apologist Wayne's Boss, and Stevie. Stevie is a game designer who has worked at Playtonic and Rareware and Sega. So we get the perspective of game apologist, who is largely just anti-AI because he's a creator and an artist. Stevie, who's anti-AI because it's actively hurting her industry. Me, who's anti-AI because the more I research about this, the more I think this technology is bad, even when it has good uses. And then Wayne, who is the host of it and is anti-AI because, again, artist, creator, etc. It is a bit of a circle jerk because all of us agree, but I think maybe I was the most pro of the antis in that conversation. So there was at least a little bit of back and forth that was interesting. So whether if you want a cathartic episode of us just riffing on AI and all the fucking shitty shit it does, then that is a cathartic episode for you. If you want a balanced discussion on the topic, it's probably not that balanced, actually, even with me trying to be somewhat, here's the parts of it that I know are not as bad, I still come out anti it, so you're not gonna get a whole lot of good out of there. Kitrain says, but that's just an echo chamber. Yeah, it is in that situation, but, you'll be fine.
But if AI slop keeps getting more realistic, pretty soon we won't be able to tell it apart from real human content. So maybe we should just give up and accept the slop into our lives.
No! Google has developed a tool called SynthID that applies invisible digital watermarks to the images, videos, and songs generated by their AI model Gemini. OpenAI has announced that they will also be using SynthID to watermark their AI-generated images. One reason that AI companies are moving in this direction is to comply with the transparency obligations laid out in Article 50 of the EU's AI Act. These rules will come into effect in December of 2026, and they are a good start. Unfortunately, even if a piece of content has digital watermarks declaring that it was synthetically generated, social media platforms like YouTube are not always required to share this information with users.
Also, there's always the chance that even if it's shared, people just won't look. People won't care at all. There is a non-zero amount of the public is stupid as shit that you have to be able to account for.
We need more consumer protection laws in major markets like the EU and the US, placing the burden on social media platforms to identify and label AI slop. We have nutrition labels for food, we can have nutrition labels for content. Another piece of good news is that third-party AI detection tools available to the public have gotten much more accurate in recent years, so we don't necessarily need digital watermarks to figure out what is and isn't slop. Admittedly, this topic is controversial and deserves its own video, so subscribe to be notified when I finally get around to that. In the meantime, I have a message for my fellow YouTubers. You gotta stop using slop in your videos. If you're a musician, you might be tempted to use AI-generated animations in your music videos. If you're an animator, you might be tempted to use AI-generated background music in your animations. If you make video essays, you might be tempted to use AI-generated stock footage, or animations, or music, or thumbnails, or narration, or
just fucking don't. Just don't. Okay, if you really must use this software, and I've already told people in this stream multiple times the things I've used it for. If you want to use this software, keep it far the fuck away from your creative shit. Keep it so far the fuck away from your creative shit that it will not affect it. Do not let it be part of your creative process, because it will eventually become more than just a small part of your creative process. It is a thing that will leak in more and more. As you start trying to streamline things, you will find more reasons and more excuses to try to streamline things further. So, damn, why this content have 1,000 calories? You don't need AI music. Just slow down a Sonic song slightly. Yeah, you don't need AI music in your life. You really don't. You've got all kinds of better things you can do.
Scripts, and on the surface, in isolation, any one of those things seems like it might be okay. It lets you make cool content without learning new skills or working with people who already have those skills.
But working with people who have those skills is the fun part. The fun part is also sometimes learning the skills. I want either to work with the people who have the skills because they're fucking cool, or I want to learn the skill myself. I don't want that taken away. That feels wrong to have that taken away.
Learning is hard, and people are gross. But the consequence of using slop in your content is teaching your audience that watching slop is okay. In doing so, you are undermining the cultural norm that is currently forming against AI slop. And pretty soon, you're going to be relying on that moral principle to stop your whole career from being automated out of existence. Using AI, YouTube can already suggest video ideas to creators based on their previous content.
And it's always fucking terrible. Okay, let me show you what it looks like. I don't know if it's still a thing, but here, let me go over here and let me swap over to my main channel. Let's go to the regular Suris channel, and you guys can see how much money I make on there. It's not a whole lot. And then where's the AI thing? Content detection, earn, customization, creator. Is it in analytics? Has it been moved away? Has it been taken away now? Because, like, for a while, there was a planning section in here. I guess it's just been moved up here. But for a while, there was a planning section here that was there so that you could use AI to figure out what things you want. Okay, AI tools for brainstorming have moved to inspiration. Inspiration. Okay, so they moved it away. So what is that now? Inspiration? Spark your next great idea. Reacting to the embarrassing failure of the latest viral anti-trans hate campaign. But that's not how that works. Deconstructing it is what I would rather do. When corporate AI slop replaces human creativity, well, we all lose for good. YouTube. You're suggesting that I tell the public that the tool you made me use. Said that second one sounds great. You should do that one. But now I don't want to. The ethics of true crime capitalism versus WatchMojo's desperate content pivot. That's not even a good comparison. Why would I do that? You know what I've noticed? These look indistinguishable from content mill videos. Yup. Debunking a failed grifter's recent pathetic attempt to misrepresent my political... I mean, what is it? Just wanting me to do a video on KC? No. See, deconstructing the philosophy of wealth hoarding using viral content creator tax scandals. No, actually. Content creators are working class. The philosophy of wealth hoarding largely applies to the people who own YouTube, not the people at YouTube. No, what? No. Why do you want me to aim the gun in the wrong direction? Fucking hell.
Using AI, YouTube can already generate videos based on those ideas. YouTube has a financial incentive to eventually cut out the middleman, i.e. human YouTubers, and internally generate those videos, if viewers on YouTube will accept consuming slop. And even if YouTube doesn't start generating the slop themselves, individual grifters who want the ad revenue are already doing so. So it is in your selfish long-term interests as a human YouTuber to never use AI slop in your content, because doing so legitimizes the technology that could one day replace you. It's like content creators are all on the same ship, and we're not quite sinking yet, but some of you are ripping chunks out of the hull to build a life raft. The war on slop is a winnable fight, so start acting like it. If you have used AI in your content in the past, don't feel too bad about it. Slop hatred is a new cultural norm that's still evolving. When DALL-E 2 first came out, I generated a messy AI slop painting of my grandmother's favorite bird, printed it out, framed it, and gave it to her for Christmas. And at the time, I thought that was a cool present. I don't blame past me for being incredibly cringe and not having fully understood the moral implications of AI slop, back when we were still calling it AI art. However, times have changed, and if you keep using AI in your content going forward, you are making an informed decision to do something that is both morally wrong and actively damaging to your own career. If you're not a YouTuber...
Yeah, so think about it this way. If you are a creative and you are using these tools constantly in your creative process, you are offloading the mental load of the creative process onto the robot, making you less creative. The less creative you are, the less you will be able to do as a creative, eventually replacing yourself with the fucking robot. Don't do that. You don't need to do that. There's no world in which you should do that. You can easily just not. It's fine.
And you notice that one of your favorite creators is currently using AI slop in their videos, even just in small ways. Leave them a respectful comment to say, hey, that's not cool, I don't support that. As a YouTuber myself, I can confirm that we are very anxious by nature and easily peer pressured by our viewers. So this will work. You can also make an effort not to watch content from creators who refuse to stop using slop, even if they're only using it a little bit. It's like saying, oh...
So, there's a content creator whose content I both hate and like. And I'm willing to say the name on this channel. It's Magic Historian. Magic Historian makes most of his content about the bad things Wizards of the Coast has done, and basically just does a lot of alarmism about Wizards of the Coast. I think there's a lot of shitty things Wizards of the Coast has done. There's certainly merit to raising alarm about many of the shitty things that they do. But there's a point in time where you've gone really, really too far with it, and I think his channel goes a little too far with it. Now, the channel of his that I actually liked is called Fantasy Geographic. Fantasy Geographic is a YouTube channel about the Magic the Gathering story. On that channel, he summarizes chapters of the Magic the Gathering story so that you can listen to it kind of audiobook style on his channel. And it's not terrible. It's if you can handle his voice. But then he made a video saying that he was going to start AI generating the art for each episode because AI generating the art would make the episodes come out looking nicer. And they would make it faster for him to produce them. And I'm going to be honest, at a certain point, I just got really icked out about that. So, let's see here. What happened to Strixhaven?
Greetings, lovers of lore. Thank you for joining me for this installment of Strixhaven lore. The new Secrets of Strixhaven set is coming out, and we have been given more information on the changes that have happened on the plane of Arcavios and with Strixhaven University.
Okay, so I don't want to do too much more of that, but that is the style of his channel. That is what he does. When he made the video about, I think 2 years ago, explaining that he was going to be using AI for the artwork in his videos, which I don't know if he still does, but when he did that, I dropped off. I had to drop off. I don't remember which video it was where he announced that, because if I could find it, I would... You know what? Hold on. I know what I can do. I know exactly what I can do. All right, I found it. This is where I got turned off on his channel, right here.
Different characters. So, using AI artwork, we're able to bridge the gap somewhat. So bear in mind that some of the artwork you will see is not going to be canon official Magic artwork, and it may be a little bit wonky because the technology isn't 100% perfect, but I'm really excited about the storytelling possibilities it opens up for this channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the Lady of the Mountain.
So, if he changed his mind on this, sure, why not? But I don't think using it as part of your creative process is a good idea. I don't. And it doesn't look like anybody in his audience gave him any pushback. AI art, great idea. Yeah, neat use of AI art. I will still prefer AI art over using other cards to tell stories of other cards. Yeah, he didn't get any fucking pushback on this, so he would have still done this later. Using AI to make OCs of characters that don't have art, yep, that's functionally what it would be. But, like, it just makes me feel icky. Said could just be scrubbing the criticism? Could be. But it's only a 2,500 view video, so I don't expect there to be a lot in there. But yeah, no, that's... I remembered that video being a thing, and there it is. I remembered it being a thing. I found it. I don't feel like I'm being gaslit by the universe. Fantastic time. Seeing the images you paused the video on, having that cringes with the wrong hair. The wrong hair? She has an elbow that has a polygon in it. Look at the way the elbow is shaded. There's a fucking polygon in the elbow. Just no. Just no. So, yeah, no, I agree. I agree 100% with Siliconversations. I do not like this technology being used by creators in the creative process. If you want to use the tech, use it for something that is not part of the creative process. Use it as an organizational tool. Use it for a database. Use it for fucking doing your taxes. But, like, don't use it to make art. Don't use it to make music. Don't use it to make assets. Don't use it to make the prototype for those assets. You have a mind. Describe it to an artist. An artist can help you. Said, wait, normal elbow don't have polygons? Maybe I need to go see a doctor, God damn it. Anyway, that's enough of that video, and the other video too. Like, I forgot that I actually wanted to actually watch more stuff on his channel. But thank you, YouTube algorithm. Sometimes you're pretty good to me. Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.